are you sexually in sync with your partner? Well, we touched on this yesterday's show and were overwhelmed with your response. In our exclusive poll, 83% of you revealed there's a mismatch in libido between you and your partner. Is that a surprising statistic, or is it slightly expected?
Not really. We were quite matched all the way through our relationship. I've been married to him for 27 years, and then a couple of years ago I came off of HRT and found I had no libido whatsoever. And so Mark didn't know I didn't have any libido because I...
Well, you are an award-winning actor. You used all your skills.
I did, yeah. So he thought I was enjoying myself when I wasn't sometimes. Sometimes I did, but in general I didn't, because I wanted him still to have a nice time.
And then... Delicately trying to explain this, aren't you?
He's going to kill me. And then I went back on HRT, and now I'm enjoying it.
It's normal, though, for people to have different libidos. My libido isn't extremely high, but I don't feel under any pressure, and I wouldn't put any pressure on anyone else to feel like they had to be in sync with me. I think it differentiates between stress levels, children, what's going on in your life. It can go up and down, can't it, between partners?
Yeah, and I think I've talked to quite a lot of my girlfriends about it, and I'm always surprised that they put up with partners that are not interested in sex at all. And I just say, go off and have an affair, but don't bother to tell them. Because, you know, if you've been married to someone for 20 or 30 years and they've just kind of put on weight, they're sitting there being miserable and they're not making any effort. I personally think, I'm not advocating it to the country as a whole, I'm just saying, my world, I think, go off and have a bit of a laugh, don't bother to tell him. And, you know, maybe...
Why not tell him, though? Do you think because you put pressure on him, or...?
Well, I read this problem in one of the papers the other week where this man said it about his wife had a very low libido, and he was advised by this agony aunt to discuss it with her. And I just thought, you know what? If this woman is feeling really down anyway, if you discuss it, there's a 50% chance it could go horribly wrong.
She'd feel worse, yeah.
And she could feel worse. And let's face it, most men are pretty inarticulate. Not all of them, but quite a few. Heterosexual, middle-aged men are pretty inarticulate. And so I felt, you know, if he wanted to go elsewhere and have a bit of fun, just do it.
He's a carer, isn't he? He's been looking after her for the last 15 years.
I think every relationship is different, but I think your story is fantastic because you just recognised that it was down to HRT, and I think a lot of women have found that HRT does make you feel a lot better, although it doesn't work for everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody's a bit different, but someone I knew, he married the girl that he was living with, and the minute they got married, they lived together for 10 years, sex stopped. She just withheld sex. And he came and told me, and, you know, I said it had gone on for years and years, and I said, go off and have a girlfriend.
But I struggle with this because I'm very, like, black and white. I just don't see, if you're in a relationship...
I'm fluid.
And
I think that's the...
Well, yeah.
That's the current phrase, Stacey.
I don't understand.
Sexually fluid.
I know, I'm not... I mean, I just don't understand why you'd stay with someone if you're unhappy and why you wouldn't have that discussion. If it then resulted in it didn't go the way you'd hoped and it upset that person more, why you wouldn't reevaluate your relationship and say, maybe we're better off apart? Why are we staying in these relationships just because we feel we have to and then going out and having affairs?
Well, our statistic of 83% say they're sexually mismatched doesn't mean that 83% of the people watching this programme or taking part in our poll can't live with that person. That person's very good to warm half of the bed, to put the bins out, to do the shopping. Men and women need other things apart from sex.
I agree with you.
Someone to have a chat with and watch telly with.
If I had a period of time where my libido was low, which even I've been through those stages, and my partner didn't come and talk to me about it and went and had an affair, I would be devastated. It would just ruin my whole relationship. It would ruin my self-esteem, my self-confidence.
Well, you might not know.
Oh, God.
You probably wouldn't know.
I probably wouldn't, but imagine if I did. I think that's much more damaging than having that conversation, even if it's painful or hurtful to the person that you're discussing it with. maybe the
I
best
hate
result
telling the
is
truth. I think it's a really, really dangerous strategy. I think too much truth ruins relationships.
But then going off and having a bit of a fling also ruins relationships, doesn't it? So you've got to... What if you are the person sitting at home with the low libido and your partner goes off and has the fling that you've advocated? Well, how would you feel?
If I was the person who really wasn't interested in sex, I think, yeah, it would be challenging, and I'd have to ask myself, if I want to stay with this person, am I prepared to do a deal that they go elsewhere and have sex, but they're great to live with, I like their cooking.
Now that, I think, is fine, but that's because she's or he is in on it. If you're in on it and you mutually agree, you know what, you're not going to get this out of me and I know that you need it, so go elsewhere, then everybody's aware of the situation. But I just hate the thought of, you know, having a down couple of years and not wanting to have sex, and then my partner going elsewhere without telling me. I would be distraught.
Well, we've had lots of comments. So we did a poll. Do you and your partner have mismatched libidos? 83% of people said yes, and 17% said no. Colin said, mine is high and my wife's non-existent. 20 years ago, my wife just put the shutters up, age 40, and wouldn't discuss why. We still live in the same house, but I'll be honest, I'll look elsewhere for passion and comfort I have missed. Misha, my libido is high and my husband's is low. It was a big thing when we were dating, even when we just got married. I think he'd prefer to self-serve and be done with it. Karen, my husband is 5 years younger than me, but he keeps telling me he's too old. He's a lovely husband, but I miss the passion that we once had. Tracy, I don't fancy my partner anymore. I just don't. I want it simple. Zia, our problem is that my husband sees sex as something that helps him relax, while I have to be relaxed to be in that mood.